The National Association of Realtors just announced this morning that pending home sales in the US have now decreased for 6 consecutive months. This is now the slowest pace in nearly a decade for pending home sales. So that's the topic of today's video. I'm going to take a deep dive into what we're seeing right now because this is definitely an important metric we should be following because this is a leading indicator of our housing market. So with that said, let's go ahead and dive right into the video. And of course, if you guys get any value out of this video whatsoever, then please hit the like button, of course. This is according to the National Association of Realtors. And if you missed my previous video regarding existing home sales that I posted about 1 week ago, let me give you a brief overview regarding home sales for April. Then let's take a deep dive into what we're seeing right now for pending home sales in April as well. So according to the National Association of Realtors, existing home sales actually fell for the third consecutive month, down 2.4%. From 1 month ago and down from 1 year ago as well. Meanwhile, the median sold price reached a record high at $391,000. That's an increase of 14.8% from 1 year ago. On top of this, total housing inventory, which the National Association of Realtors includes active listings plus pending contracts, that's actually down 10.4% from 1 year ago. However, it increased by 10.8% from March. So that's what they reported about a week ago regarding home sales in the US. So let's talk more about pending home sales right now. This is actually just released on the 26th of May, which is today at the time of this video. It says pending home sales slid for the 6th consecutive month, down 3.9% in April from March. So in one single month, pending home sales decreased by 3.9%. Also, compared to the prior year, pending sales dropped for the 11th consecutive month with a 9.1 year-over-year drop. And what I found to be remarkable when I was reading this report here is only the Midwest region saw contract signings increase on a month-over-month basis, with the other 3 major regions reporting a declines. However, each of the 4 major regions in the US recorded a decrease in pending home sales compared to 1 year ago. And by the way, the National Association of Realtors has an index for pending home sales. They call that the Pending Home Sale Index, or the PHSI. That's a forward-looking indicator of home sales based on contract signing. So in other words, when a home seller accepts an offer from a home buyer and then the sale is finalized or this house is actually sold within 30 to 45 days, depending on your area. So here's how each of the 4 major regions fared regarding pending home sales in April 2022. Again, we're down 3.9% a month over month. The Midwest was the only region that had an increase in pending home sales from 1 month ago, again by 6.6%. The West fell by 4.3%, the lowest decline over the US here. The South decreased by 4.7%. Look at that. The Northeast decreased by 16.2%. So basically 4 times the rate we saw in the West and also in the South. And according to their chief economist, Lawrence Yoon, he had this to say: pending contracts are telling as they better reflect the time of their impact from higher mortgage rates than do closings. I absolutely agree with him regarding this because if we want to get a gauge about what's really going on with our housing market right now, we want to look at pending home sales and not closed home sales, because a closed home sale and of course, closed home prices really has to do with what the housing market was like about 30 days ago when the home seller accepted an offer from a home buyer. So that's really a lagging indicator when we're talking about sold prices and also closings as well. The latest contract signings mark 6 consecutive months of declines and are at the slowest pace in nearly a decade. So here's the actual data from the National Association of Realtors. I pulled this from their website. The index for April is at 99.3. Again, this is the 6th consecutive month where we've had decreases ever since November 2021. Also, this is the slowest pace, again, in nearly a decade. So as you can see here, the levels for April is far below any other month in 2021. So the average for the index was 115.2. Now we're at 99.3. Also well below 2020 and 2019 pre-COVID as well. And as I mentioned, the Northeast had the biggest decrease. They decreased by 16.2%. The South decreased by 4.7%, the West by 4.3%. The Midwest was the only region that had an increase in pending home sales from 1 month ago. However, compared to 1 year ago, All the major regions recorded a decrease by double digits, except for the Midwest, which only decreased by 2.8% from April 2021. It goes on to say the following in this report here: with mortgage rates rising, Yoon forecasts existing home sales to wane or to decrease by 9% in 2022 and home price appreciation to moderate to 5% by year's end. So let's talk a little bit about mortgage rates right now, because yes, mortgage rates have been increasing over the last year and also greatly over the past few months here. However, mortgage rates have started to decrease. So have a look at this. This is according to Freddie Mac. They actually just released this today at the time of this video, the 26th. They are stating that the average 30-year fixed rate mortgage is at 5.10%. So if you guys aren't familiar with Freddie Mac, they record average mortgage rates across the United States on a weekly basis, not a daily basis like the Mortgage News Daily. But they're reporting that the average for the most recent week here is at 5.10%. So according to their chief economist, Sam Cater, he had this to say: mortgage rates decreased for the second consecutive week due to multiple headwinds that the economy is facing. Despite the recent moderation in rates, though, the housing market has clearly slowed, and the deceleration is spreading to other segments of this economy, such as consumer spending on durable goods. And by the way, 1 year ago, the average 30-year fixed rate mortgage only averaged 2.95%. Now we're at 5.10%. So something else I want to bring to your attention is that the average mortgage rates you see online can vary by the source, right? So according to Investopedia.com, as of today, the average is at 5.31%. Investopedia gives average mortgage rates for, I believe it's like 200 lenders across the United States. These are daily averages for people who have good to excellent credit. So 5.31% is what they're reporting today. Also, according to the Mortgage News Daily, they're averaging at 5.27% for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage for people who have excellent credit. So in regards to mortgage rates decreasing, have a look at this. According to the Mortgage News Daily, it really peaked this year at 5.64% on May 6th of this year. But ever since then, mortgage rates have been more or less decreasing. Right now, they're stating that the rate is at 5.27%, far less than the 5.64% at the beginning of this month. In any case, it's my personal opinion because rates have increased so greatly over the past year. I mean, at August in 2021, we're at 2.75%. In January of this year, we're at approximately 3.3%. So even though we're starting to see this decrease of mortgage rates, that's not really going to cause a feeding frenzy for home buyers because we still have very high mortgage rates, historically speaking, over the past couple of years. In any case, that's my personal opinion though. So leave me a comment below with your thoughts regarding this. But I believe that mortgage rates have increased so much in a very short period of time, even though they have decreased slightly in a very short period of time as well. I believe that home buyers are really pulling back because of affordability issues, and of course because home prices have not decreased just yet. In any case, Yoon goes on to say the following: the escalating mortgage rates have bumped up the cost of purchasing a house by more than 25% from 1 year ago. So from 1 year ago, mortgage rates have increased approximately 2 percentage points. So just because of that, it's causing the average buyer buying the average house in the US to increase the cost of purchasing that house by 25%. Also, steeper home prices are also adding another 15% to that figure because home prices have increased approximately 15% compared to 1 year ago. And it says here we basically have a big issue regarding housing affordability because of rising mortgage rates and of course rising home prices, but also we have inflation of course right now as well, right? We have surging fuel and food costs, which is obviously putting a burden on the average family in the US as well. And it says here potential home buyers are trying to mitigate this higher cost of home ownership by opting for a 5-year adjustable rate mortgage or by widening their geographic search area to more affordable regions. So as I've been reporting to you guys, the amount of people submitting loan applications in order to buy a house has been increasing greatly for 5-1 ARMs, meaning it's fixed for 5 years, then it becomes adjustable after that. And that's what we call a 5-1 ARM. And the share of people submitting loan applications for 5-1 ARMs has basically increased by 3 times the amount from January of this year. So Lawrence Yoon went on to say the following here: home sales in 2022 are expected to be down by about 9% from 1 year ago. And if mortgage rates climb to 6%, then sales activity could fall by 15%. He said home prices in the meantime appear to be in no danger of any meaningful decline. I actually have some mixed reaction to this because I don't believe we have absolutely no danger of a significant decline. However, we have a lack of housing inventory still, so I really don't see home prices decreasing this year because of that. Unless the data changes though, right? If we start seeing a giant increase of new listings and of course a giant increase of active listings overall, and also a big decrease overall for home buying demand, then of course home prices could decrease. So he goes on to say the following here: there's an ongoing housing shortage and properly listed houses are still selling swiftly, generally seeing a contract signed within a month. So here's the latest data we have from Redfin regarding new listings and active listings, which is housing supply. So here's the number of new listings compared to 2021 and 2019. This black line here is for 2022, this blue line is for 2019, and the orange line here is for 2021. As you can see here, the number of new listings was basically on par with the last couple of years, or 2019 and 2021, until we hit approximately mid-April. Then it started to peel away from 2021, but more recently though, for the 4 weeks ending May 8th, it started to increase. However, right now, the number of new listings is basically on par with 2019 and 2021. So if you want to see home prices decrease greatly, we need this number to increase greatly as well. However, we're not seeing that just yet, but I'll definitely keep you posted with the latest developments though. So here's the latest we have for active listings, which is another word for housing supply. As you can see here, the black line is 2022. Again, here's 2021, here's 2019. So we basically started the year at 545,000 active listings in the US, according to Redfin. This was a decrease by 20.88% from 1 year ago. This is also approximately a 50% decline compared to 2018, when we had approximately 1 million houses for sale. So even though we started this year down about 20% from 1 year ago, that gap has basically been narrowing. So right now, for the most recent data we have, the decrease for housing supply is down 12.92% compared to 21% at the beginning of this year. However, current inventory levels are still very low though. So right now we have 585,000 houses listed for sale, but you compare that to the same time period in 2019, we had 1.1 million. So again, we have approximately 50% less houses available for sale compared to pre-COVID in 2019. And therefore, because of this, it's my personal opinion, we're not going to be seeing any big decreases in home prices, even though we're seeing a decrease in home buying demand. If we want to see a big decrease in home prices, we need the number of active listings to increase greatly. That's just my personal opinion though, so let me know what you guys think regarding this. Also, if you got any value out of this video whatsoever, then please hit the like button. I greatly appreciate that. Hope you have an awesome day. Look forward to seeing you on the next video.